Alright guys, what is up? It's Aaron here. As you can see, I got my hair cut. I look very different. It's been a wee while since I've done a video, but that's because I've been working on a very big project for you guys at home. That's taken a wee while. I'm doing it at school because I don't have the supplies and stuff to do it at home. So let's get into the video. Now, last time I done one of these videos of how to build your RC, I wasn't expecting you guys to like it so much. Like, honestly, thank you so much for just watching the video. There was over 1,400 views on that video, and that's kind of why I've taken so long to just kind of like, you know, make another one, because I wanted to see how long it would take for you guys to, well, for other people to like watch it and see, and you know, just to see if you guys enjoy those type of videos, and you did. So today on how to build your RC, we're going to be looking at battery safety. So before I'm going to go into like, you know, all the tiny little details of an RC car, you need to know your battery safety, because if you're not safe with batteries, it can end very badly. You could waste hundreds and thousands of pounds on an RC because of the battery, and you didn't know what was right and wrong for a battery. So I'm just going to go set you guys up into the table just now and just explain to you guys how to keep your batteries in good condition, how to make sure and look out for like issues that might arise, and look out for like, I don't know, stuff that's like, I don't know, indicating that the batteries need replaced or something, and just things to not do and to do with batteries. Okay, so we're going to go off and start off with nickel monohydride batteries. There's not a lot of like safety things for nickel monohydride batteries. They're very simple. We've got two connectors here, just for charging and use. Now what you'll notice is the difference between LiPos and nickel monohydride batteries. These are the two most commonly used batteries on RCs that are hobby grade. You can see that there are two connectors on LiPo batteries and one connector on here, well, two separate connectors and one just normal connector here. And there's a reason for that. The reason is that these just have two cells in here, so it only needs a plus and minus. One side will be plus, one side will be minus, indicating on the wires here. And you really do not want to short your circuit, and the way you can do that is just like by doing that and putting them back to front. So you don't want to do that. That will short your battery out. That might make it explode depending on how old your battery is, usage, and etc. But otherwise, there's nothing really much to talk about these nickel monohydride batteries. They're very good. They're very safe to use, and they don't produce a lot of power. But you know, just to be on the safe side for starting out, if you don't know a lot about like safety and stuff about batteries, this is just something to look at. Now, LiPos are an absolutely different story altogether. You get 2S LiPos to 6S LiPos, and what that means is basically these little bits here. This is a 3S LiPo, so you can see that there's 3 lithium polymer, lithium iron metal. There's 3 layers of like battery stuff that I don't really know what is actually it's called, but there's 3 cells, and that's just layers there. So there's 1 cell, 2 cell, 3 cells. So that's a 3S LiPo. And same here, you know, I've like kind of cut this bit open for you guys. 1, 2, 3 cells. It's just small and compact. And okay, so here's where these things do get dangerous. Is if you charge them through here. This is something you do not want to do at all. It is extremely dangerous. I know one of my friends, BA_RC, you should go check out his channel. He did have a house fire from charging up his LiPos, and in one of his old videos, in one of his first channels, I saw that he was charging the LiPos through these. That is something you should not do at all. That is extremely dangerous and can cause fires, and will cause fires at one point in time. And whenever you do get a battery, there will be stuff either on the back or in the instructions when they come. Always read that and you'll be golden. And the chargers that will usually come with them, I bought this separately for my batteries, is this kind of charger. You should really get this kind of charger, to be honest. It charges them within like an hour or 2 or something like that. It's not a speed pack or anything. It's just a normal LiPo charger, and you can see here that it's got space here for a 2-cell 7.4 volt lithium polymer battery and a 3-cell lithium polymer battery. And you can see here, for the, if it'll focus, that for the 2-cell, the hole is smaller to charge it, and for the 3-cell it's wider. That is because, again, there's more layers, so you need more wires just to be able to charge them up and put the power out. Same with 2 cells, 3 cells, 6 cells, you know. It's very complicated batteries, but once you understand it all, it's very easy to look after them. Now, not everybody can afford a massive like 6S pack you know, with whatever voltage and extreme amount of power. So what a lot of people will do is they will buy two separate 3S LiPos or 2S LiPos for 4S because they can't afford a 4S pack. And that's okay to do that, but there is some stuff you need to put in place to do that. So that's why I have two batteries here. One is 2600 mAh, this one is 3000 mAh. You do not want to use these at the same time because of the mAh difference and the age difference. If you're running batteries in series, which is just running them both together through one ESC, if it can handle the power that you're giving it, is you want to make sure that the batteries are A, all the same age, B, have the same mAh, and C, have the same voltage. So MAH voltage, you know, stuff like that. So, and you want to make sure it has the same C burst as well. So this has a 30 C burst, maximum burst, and this has a 25 C burst. And basically what that could do is, one, it could, you know, make your ESC completely fry itself. Two, it could damage one of the batteries really badly, catch fire in the car, you know, and it could cause damage that will be long-term lasting, so it could be damaged while driving it and you won't notice. And then once you're charging up, you know, it will explode and cause a fire. And now this battery was when I after knew everything to look after batteries and stuff, and you see that this is in much better condition than this one, because I didn't really, you know how to look after them when I got this battery, but now I did. You can see the difference, you know, of keeping them in good condition to not knowing anything. So the main thing you need to do is to keep them in good condition is, once you finish driving, take your battery out, let it cool down, clean it off a bit with like a baby wipe or something, and then put it in one of your drawers that has like no dust, no moisture, nothing. Just make sure it's at room temperature, you know, nothing too extreme, so it's not like next to a radiator or, you know, next to something that's extremely cold, because the cold can be killers for LiPos, definitely. And I want to bring this into perspective as well. Don't do this, yeah? Don't cut off the wires here. It works, but it's not safe, and it's really not ideal for you know, using it in a car. So just basically just take this front bit off, you know, solder it on if you can. If you can't, then just leave it, it's fine, you can get adapters. Don't do what I done with this at all, because it's really, it's safe to an extent, but it's not, you know, perfectly safe. And you might be wondering why I'm not going into super detail about the batteries, what's inside them, you know, etc, etc. It's just because I want beginners to really understand, once they get a LiPo, they have to take massive care of it. You know, it's not like a nickel monohydrate battery where it's easy, you just charge it, put it in your car, once it's cooled down, charge up again, you know. There is still some things you need to do to keep them in good condition, like I've done here. You know, it's very clean looking. I mean, there's like sauce and stuff on the back because I accidentally left it on the ground. No, that wasn't it. I dropped it in a little thing of barbecue sauce by accident. It was only that bit there, but yeah, I've kept this in generally good condition, and it's still going strong, I think. Another thing as well is, with nickel monohydrate batteries, eventually their power efficiency will wear down, and that's something I want to talk about here as well with LiPos. LiPos in general won't really lose power most of their time. What you've got to do is, though, you've got to keep sure you're keep on like charging it up, using it. You're not leaving it out for like months on end. You're not using it for months on end, because then that's when things go wrong for people as well. They just leave them laying about, you know, not doing anything, not charging them up, not driving them, and that can be understandable to an extent. You know, if you can't afford, you know, cars and stuff properly, and you know one of yours is broken and you're waiting to save up for like, you know, a new car. But basically what you can do is, because over time or something the battery will, you know, lose some of its battery life, you know, it won't be fully charged if you haven't used it in a while. So what I tend to do is, if I can't use it for a wee while, and I know I'm not going to use it for a wee while, what I will do is each week I'll just put it on charge for like 10 to 20 minutes, just to let the battery charger do what it does to the battery, and just let all the cells and stuff, you know, stay awake, because that's basically what it does. It goes to sleep if it's not like kept awake, if you get what I mean. So when nickel monohydrate batteries power efficiency does die down and it's not producing as much power as it usually does that mean it's going to blow up? Does that mean it's like dangerous? Does that mean I'm going to need to get a new one straight away? Not necessarily. Yeah, necessarily. Basically, what that means is just, you know, it's not going to be moving the car as fast as it usually would. It's not going to be going as fast as usual. It's not going to be like, you know, driving about for as long as it usually would be. The battery will get hot, but it won't get so like extremely hot that it's like incredibly dangerous and it's going to explode. These nickel anhydride batteries, I've never heard anything of them exploding, of them, you know, screwing up basically, like these things can very quickly, very nastily, and just painfully as well. So these are okay. Again, if you're a beginner, I'd recommend just going for a nickel anhydride battery, learning how to look after your battery, practicing how to look after your battery, and just once you feel ready and once you feel like you know enough to look after lithium polymer batteries, go for it straight away. Now you might think this is where I'll end the video because I've talked basically on a beginner level of how to look after your battery, you know, and actually I haven't talked about to look out for some signs that your battery is not going to be like working properly. So here's a few signs, right? Just very quickly. Your car won't be going as fast, okay? For both of them actually, your car won't be going as fast. The lifetime of the battery while you're driving won't be good. So let's just say you can drive about for like 15 minutes. That time will be cut down to like 8 to 5 minutes. So once that starts happening, you know, that's probably about time to get a new one, especially for LiPos. As soon as like you see like power reduction for LiPos in any like cell, so if it's 2S or 6S, you know, as soon as you start to get that decrease in power, get a new one straight away. Don't use it. Recycle it if you can, or just chuck it. Yeah, these batteries can be recycled, so recycle them. Don't just chuck them in the bin because then it's just a waste. And yeah, so that's just a little thing to look out for. There isn't really much to warn you about if something's going to explode, or, you know, if something's not working correctly. That's just one of the main things you need to look out for, is if it just isn't working the way it usually would be. And that could be down to many different things, but I'll cover that in a different video. So, back to what I was saying. You might think I just end the video here because I've talked about everything I said I would, but no, I need to tell you guys about remote safeties as well. There needs to be remote safeties in place because you don't want to damage your remote. Now, the remote won't like explode in a big fire and you'll have no hands or anything. That won't happen at all, so don't like think that I'm saying like, you know, you have to do this, you have to do that. You know, it's just so you guys do not damage your controllers, do not damage anything inside. This is quite a cheap remote. I mean, it's not cheap, it was like in the mid-range. It was like 30, 40 pounds off of eBay. And the way you want to just look after these kind of remotes in general is just to have rechargeable batteries, all the same battery life. You make sure they're all charged up fully. There's not like, you know, one battery that's really low on charge and then the other is really high on charge. That could seriously damage the inside and the processor inside your remote. And the current, the thing that like controls the current in the controller, that could seriously damage that as well. Because basically what will happen is the current will say, okay, well this is a bit different. You know, there's one battery that's saying, okay, you're low on charge, and the other one's like saying, okay, you're high on charge, and it'll kind of get confused, blow out. Well, it won't blow out, but it'll blow it up. But basically, it'll just say, nope, screw this shit, too complicated, can't be arsed, I'm done. And doing that as well could also affect your range. So if you have like low battery, it could really affect your range. If you do that same thing where there's like one low charge, one high charge, that could really permanently affect your remote. So that's just something to really look out for. And as well, once you've come inside from like, let's just say it's like raining, or I don't know, like it's snowing, or you're in dirt and stuff, always come in and clean your controller. Just make sure it's clean as it could be. What I always like to do is as well, I always like to just take out the batteries, come in here with a baby wipe and just clean the insides, just to make sure there's no dust and stuff inside, and that'll like get into the controller and damage it for like, you know, ever. One more thing as well, that is kind of been like, you know, should I do this, should I not do this, is overcharging your batteries. Overcharging your batteries, depending on what kind of charger you have, you know, for some chargers you might have a fail-safe in them to stop them, like, so once it's charged, the current will stop going to the battery, and that'll be it. You know, the green light will come on saying, okay, it's charged, no more current going through. And yeah, so that's going to be pretty good. But if it's like a charger like this for like your nickel monohydrate battery, do not overcharge it. These are slow trickle ball chargers that'll take like 6 hours to charge. You always want to keep your eye on them though. If you're like charging them overnight, don't do that. That's just dumb because, you know, you never know, you could just wake up and there's an explosion right next to your face or across your room or whatever you're charging it, and you know, you're gonna have to like rebuild your house, you know, go through all that process. But this one here, this is a Acme racing charger, and it has a failsafe in it. So basically, like I said, it will stop the current flowing to the battery once the green light is on, and that's it there. So you can go off and check that out. So overcharging the battery isn't like a big thing, but you just want to make sure that there's a failsafe in your charger if you do accidentally overcharge it. And same in your car as well. You'll make sure that there's like a low voltage cutoff if you're using LiPo batteries, because going below a certain level of voltage on your LiPo batteries can damage it, and it might not actually be able to charge ever again. So I hope you guys enjoyed this video. It's been a wee while since I've done something like this, since I've like just explained cars and just talked cars in general. So I'm a bit rusty on like, you know, some of the stuff here and there. And again, I just want to say thank you for the massive support on the last video. That's insane. That's like 1.4 thousand views. That's insane for someone who has like, what, almost 60 subscribers now. So in the next video of this series, I'll be going into depth of like the actual like tiny little pieces of cars, explaining each individual piece on the car, and that'll be like in like future episodes and stuff. But I'm just gonna go into like super detail of like how to fix it, how to well, I think the next episode is going to be how to diagnose a problem in your car. I think that's what I'm going to do. That sounds pretty good. But if there's anything you guys want me to cover, you know, something that you're unsure of, or something you just want to know about cars, or anything like that, just feel free to ask down in the comments below. And if you could do as well while you're down there, just hit that subscribe button if you're not subscribed already, and hit that thumbs up button if you enjoyed the video. Please don't forget to like, subscribe, and share with your friends, and I'll see you guys in the next video. See ya!